Hey y'all, I'm recording artist Laine Hardy, and you're listening to In the Mix with Brandon J.
Broadcasting from Hollywood, it's the official On Air with Brandon J podcast. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Brandon. I'm joined by recording artist, national recording artist, I should say. You may know him as the season 17 of American Idol winner, Mr. Laine Hardy. Laine, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's good to finally get to a chance to get you on the show. I know you were busy. How was CRS?
CRS was a great experience. I met a lot of people in the industry and connected with them, and it was just a good experience for me.
You know what's crazy about CRS is when you go, it seems like it's just like a flash and it's gone because there's so much going on. And the same goes for CMA Fest, which is coming up in a few months. And so can we expect you to be out on the circuit for CMA Fest?
Possibly, I don't know yet. Who knows? You never know.
You're very humble. You're like, you'll just have to wait and see. So
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I couldn't tell you. I'd be lying if I did say it.
so you're from Louisiana. So let's talk about, growing up in the South, because I'm from South Carolina, born and raised, right? I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, born and raised. You're from Louisiana, Southeast Louisiana. Like, what was it like growing up in the state of Louisiana and kind of saying, hey, you know what? And you kind of come across this thing of like, you've got this true passion for music.
How did I come across that?
Yes.
Uh, Elvis. Basically, I was 7, 8 years old, and Elvis came on the radio, and my mom was driving. I couldn't drive, of course, but we were on the way to somewhere in town. I guess it's a grocery store or something, and he came on the radio, and that's what kind of started it. Because I asked who was that, and she said who it was. She said Elvis.
That's
And I
the
was like,
king, baby. That's the king.
I remember saying I like him, and then I
Yeah.
said, Mom, can I have a guitar for Christmas? And then I got a first act guitar for Christmas and started taking lessons.
And just here we are today. Let's kind of fast forward. Okay, so I've watched you. I watched the season. I think it was season 16. You went on Idol, and you didn't make it as far as of course, winning the whole competition. But they brought you back on. They're like, this kid is undeniable. They bring you back on. You win it. Like, what was going through your mind when you're like, you know what? I can actually do this. I can actually potentially win this thing.
Well, to be honest with you, that thought never ran through my head because I was probably gonna get nervous and make something my like my mindset on, okay, yeah, I might have a chance of winning this. I didn't feel that way at all. Uh, I didn't want to feel that. I didn't want myself to feel that way because, I mean, when you're doing something that is supposed to be like a competition or something like that, uh, my mindset was just bask in the moments that you're getting able to do. Just be mindful of the experience that you're in the middle of, not all the stress from rehearsing and practicing and all that. That was stressful, some of that, but it wasn't like as rewarding as the awareness that you stay mindful
Yeah.
of being there with all the people and getting to know people because they're good people. They're really good people behind the scenes, and nobody really gets the chance to meet. But
And it's
that's
a major staff that puts on these shows. Like, I've been on the set of The Voice, right, at NBC, at Universal Studios, Universal City in California. And a lot of people don't see all of the people, all of the work, all of the prep that goes into these shows. And so for someone that's naive to, the process at American Idol, how many times would you say you had to rehearse on a weekly basis?
well, other than my rehearsing on Idol, I don't know. I didn't know or have any background experience in what like rehearsal really was.
Ah,
Because I mean, I was still in high school at the time, still also. So I just I didn't ever have a real professional rehearsal or week or like, world tour or like a national tour kind of rehearsing week, month thing or something like that,
right, right, right.
So for me to say it from somebody that has been on the show and has went through the rehearsing stuff, if you aren't going down the path of Idol or any kind of reality show, um, rehearsal's important to artists, and it kind
Yeah.
of keeps their long-term health of their vocals and just their stage presence and them as the artist people are coming to see. It keeps them kind of honed and it keeps things smooth going. As smooth as it's going to get, because not every show is going to go the way you want it to be. But
Isn't it funny, Laine, when you step on the stage, or before you step on the stage, you're like, okay, I'm expecting this show to go great. But for me, for my own personal experience, in just being behind the scenes, being in front of the scenes, whatever it might be, nothing ever goes as predicted in production. But they say the show must always go on. The show must go on.
and the show must go on for the show to happen. You know,
That's it.
it's gonna happen because I mean, even live TV, if
Yeah,
something you gotta roll with it, improvise and keep like just adjust things as they go. You know, if they don't start going the way, like, and I'm sure that's already mapped out
for
with
sure.
with the people, but it's crazy. But naive, anybody that's new to it, just be like prepared for or prepare yourself to rehearse and all that kind of stuff and accept new things that come because if you're just be uncomfortable, you know, be uncomfortable.
You've been able to build an organic, a real fan base. Like, what advice do you have for those out there that are really trying to build a real audience to really, dig their craft, dig their style?
Be okay. Let me start, I guess, from the basis of it,
Yeah,
from what I've seen, you know. Um, so you as an artist, you doing it, I guess, chasing the music career or that kind of thing where you want to leave home, you want to go do this. It's been a dream, you know, it's been a dream of yours, and you have the mindset of I'm not going to give up, I'm going to keep going, that kind of stuff.
right.
If you're going to do that and decide that, make sure that you decide beforehand that you stay yourself, you stay your original whatever, because I mean, you're go into it. If you want to build a fan base, go into it yourself. That way you attract people that really do like you, genuine people, you know, and then that will build up to other genuine people jumping on board with the other genuine people that do like the way you are, you know. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't change over time. They'll be there for that. They'll support you for the changes that you go through, you know. And I mean, that's the basis of building a fan base. Just be yourself, and the people that you kind of that gravitate towards your work and your music and things you do. That's what they love, and that's what's gonna make your career. You know, I
Do
mean,
you think that it's a necessity for artists like yourself and others out there? We're just gonna say you because you're an artist, right? That it's a necessity that when you go from gig to gig or radio station to radio station, that you take the time out to really, shake hands and sign autographs and take pictures. Because I know this is what Taylor Swift did, when she was coming up, when she started. And now look at her audience. It's just incredible.
yeah. Um, at the level of I guess Taylor Swift, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't tell you her process or anybody like that has a lot of fans. You know, like
Yeah.
people. But um, that's a big thing. That's one of the biggest things. You know, one of the biggest things because the people that are waiting out there for you, or the people that you're there meeting with for certain interviews or anything like that. It doesn't, the music industry is no different than any other industry
For
besides the
sure.
components. You know, it works like a company, you know what I mean? But it's just the right thing to do. And always being humble is a biggest part
You got
of
to be
the
humble.
music
Be humble
career.
but effective, right?
Humble and effective. But I
So
mean,
let's talk about, okay, so now we're in 2024. Like we know you're meeting people, you're doing meet and greets, you're doing interviews. What's next for Laine Hardy?
new music. That's my first stop right there. New music.
What can we expect when you say new music? Like, is it something that we've already heard, like the same style, or is it something brand new that nobody's ever heard?
Uh, it's always been there. I just never. I just. It's gonna be me, you know.
Okay.
And over time, it will change in the ways that I change and my life changes, you know. But it's gonna be different from what's been released before. It's gonna be more original um, songs, and I'm just really excited to show people like my true artistry. Um, it's gonna be great. I'm really getting excited about the time coming up.
I've listened to a lot of your music, prior to this interview, just to, get caught up on your sound and everything. And I hear a lot of influences and references to where you grew up in Louisiana. Can we expect to see a part of Louisiana in everything that you do? Because I know
Oh
you can take me out of the South, but you can't take the South out of me. I mean, it's just it is what it is, you know.
yeah, 100%. Like I can guarantee always. That's my answer to that. Simple as that.
You're like, yes, yes, that's a given.
That's a
Laine, what
given.
what advice do you have for those artists out there that are confused in the ability to bring commercial sounding hits? Because everybody wants a hit song, right? Whether it's a licensing sync deal, whether they're trying to get a record deal. What advice do you to give to those people out there?
Work hard. Just work hard. Uh, Work hard because you love to do it. Give it all your heart. Because if you have that kind of gift to reach to people in the way that music can, work hard and be real. You know, be real. That's basically a big part of it too. Um, don't think that you know everything. I mean, I still don't know everything either. I'm over here telling you things off of experience from the past. And
Right.
I couldn't answer some questions, but just you know, that's basically all I got to say about that. Just work hard because I mean, there is a lot of work that has to be put in, and to be seen. Not that you have to prove anything, but also prove something to yourself. I mean, you want to be proud of your work, not too proud, but self confident about it, not externally telling people, "Oh, this is good." Care what you say. I mean, be like that inside, but don't be humble. It's basically like be humble about your work if you do work hard on it.
Yeah, you got to be humble. I mean, but like what we said earlier, humble but effective in everything that you do. Because I was just on the Digital Dilemmas podcast, and we were talking about AI, which leads me into my next topic of discussion. And do you think that AI is a benefit to you as an artist?
Not wholly, but I do believe AI can have some helpful resources and um, I guess generating from advanced characteristics of words, like if you can think of a word like cool or smooth or wood or rustic or vintage, something like that, to be able to type into some engine to where it can like pull up all kind of antonyms, synonyms, all that. That's the only useful thing that I could find from it, but other people might have other opinions about it. I mean, that's all. I don't know much about AI besides it's a great utility for some companies, some not. Some people yes, some people no. So.
Did you pay attention to the arguments when it came to the SAG and after strike, which they're no longer striking right now, but they were speaking about the biggest uh, topic of discussion, or the problem, I should say, was let's say that you, Laine, are, for example, a background actor,
Yeah.
and you're going to be paid a flat rate, scale, and then that's all you're going to get, and then they can use that footage and your image, your name, your likeness over and over and over in perpetuity. Do you think that they should be able to do that, or do you think there should be a cutoff limit?
I think I would have to research that and educate myself more on it to be able to speak about that. I wouldn't be able to give you a true answer right now,
Yeah.
but that sounds like a good thing for me to maybe look into. That way I can have an answer.
No, I appreciate that because you're honest. You're smart. You're like a politician. You're not going to answer the question if you don't know the answer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to answer it if I don't
Yeah,
know. Like, I'll be
smart.
honest about
But
it.
let me ask you this. Okay, so in terms of you and your sound, we know that you are an authentic, true country artist. I mean, I think it goes without saying. Do you feel that it's imperative for a country artist to have a real, genuine, true presence in Nashville, Tennessee? In other words, do you have to be there to be competitive when it comes to country, or can you be on the outskirts in like a Missouri or Texas or Louisiana or South Carolina and still have the same impact?
No, no, to a certain extent, because you can't. I mean, you gotta go and be there in the atmosphere of what you're doing.
Right.
If you're home, you can be held down by a lot of things, agreeing to go hang out here or go do that with somebody. It's not that home is bad for you. You gotta come home sometimes if
For
you got
sure.
home. Some people aren't um, blessed enough to have a home, but if you do have a home and you have somewhere to live and you have family, friends, all that stuff, it's important to be there because you can't come home and then the next day go to Nashville and wait a few days in Nashville, right, and then come back home. You got to really like actually be there. It's important.
Yeah, you got to be embedded into the culture for sure. I
Yeah.
agree. It's like hip hop, like, okay, we all know that so much has come from the wonderful city of Atlanta, Georgia. You have to step foot on that soil
Yeah.
if you're desiring to accomplish certain things because there's so much just embedded into the culture and the environment of Atlanta.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're speaking the same language. Laine, what are some of the biggest takeaways that you've gotten from your family? Some of the biggest things that you've learned that you can take with you and apply it to your everyday life.
Don't forget where you came from. Remember who brought you in this world. Know what I
don't,
mean?
don't you let my mom always tells me, I brought you into the world and I can take you
Take
out
you
of
out.
this
Yep.
world. You've heard that too. So
I've
that
heard
must
that
be a
too.
Southern thing for all you women out there in the South.
Yeah.
Southern woman thing. Very
No,
cool.
but yeah.
If
Um,
it's an artist that you could collaborate with right now, who would it be and why?
that's a tough question for me. I'm not saying I don't. I haven't taken any time to listen to any like music out, but off the top of my head, I mean, probably somebody that is up and coming, and then they truly and
Yeah.
genuinely like or wanting to do music, and they love it because they love music, not for, you know, the money. There's nothing wrong with wanting the money, but money isn't the most important thing about it. The money is the after effect of what you do that you love to do.
Right. And it comes along with the territory. If you love what you do, the money's going to follow it.
Yeah. And if
So,
it doesn't, it's you should still be okay because you love to do it, right? Kind of thing.
exactly.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
know
you gotta
that's
make
that's what
money
you
to
get when
live,
you
but
step on the
so
stage with the guitar and everything, and you're actually performing. You love what you're doing, and that
yeah.
shows, right? You can't fake that.
No, you can't. If you try, you'll be miserable. So don't try.
That's
Don't try.
it, man.
That's a fact. Not
Well,
because
Laine, you
I've
got to
learned that.
invite me out to one of your upcoming shows. For all of those that have not connected with you on social media, where can they go?
Uh, Instagram and Facebook is the Laine Hardy. They're both identical. I believe a lot of my social media aligns with the same username. So it's a blue check. It's got a blue check. If it doesn't have a blue check, it's
It's
not me.
got a blue check. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to have a blue check. But isn't it crazy how okay, you everybody knows you're Laine Hardy. You've got your account, but isn't it crazy how you got a verified account, but these other imposters try to create these other accounts acting like they're you?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild to me that I'm just I get a message, "Hey Lane, is this you?" I'm
It's
not
just
making
you,
fun of them
right? It's
doing
like,
it.
of
I'm
course
just
it's me. I'm
telling you
live
the
on
truth.
my Instagram.
That's not me. I'm sorry, but just block them, report them. You know, if it don't like blue check, then it's not me, kind of thing. Because some people are new to I guess technology, and they don't really understand. So
I don't know how though in 2024, man, our lives depend on it now.
I know, I know.
It's crazy. But man, dude, it's been great to have you on the show. We're gonna play some of your music after the break. Is there any takeaways that you want to leave with us before you leave today?
Hmm. Yeah, actually, don't um if you want to do music, if you don't want to do music and it's something else, no matter what it is, what it pertains to, um, just do it. You know, do it with your whole heart, and you can't be halfway in, halfway out of something for and it work. You know, you got to give it all you got. You know, without losing your mind to it. Like keep your head at the same time, but don't give up because it's hard. You gotta keep, even though it seems like nothing's happening, it's gonna happen. Small things make big things happen too, you know. But either way, but just don't give up doing what you love to do, no matter what it is.
It's progression. I think we can all relate to that. And I think that great things don't happen overnight. You are a prime witness of that. I mean, we've gotten to witness your journey in front of a microscope, in front of a TV lens. So we thank you for coming on the show and sharing this with us, because
You
a
know,
lot of people may not get to know who you truly are because they don't have that time, that quality time to spend with you. But you're really down to earth. You're about, you love what you do. You are who you are. And I think that you've got a great head on your shoulders. And I think that the key with all of this is to make music that you love listening to, that you can relate to, that tells your story. If I think if you accomplish those things, I think the world will value it that much more.
yeah, an oak tree is the perfection of an acorn.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do appreciate you having me on here.
Oh man, I appreciate you, man. Laine Hardy, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a special guest. Louisiana native, winner of American Idol season 17. He's got new music on the way, new shows. Make sure you follow him on all social media and stay tuned. Right after the break, we're playing some Laine Hardy. Laine, thank you. And I'll talk to
Thank
you
you.
soon, my friend.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to On Air with Brandon J. Follow on Instagram at I am Brandon J.